By the time Bach died in 1750, he was actually seen as old-fashioned as far as his compositions were concerned. He was composing in the old style, the old Baroque style, and he died fairly unknown as a composer. He was more known as an organist than as a composer, and even in the years after his death, he still wasn't very well known for his compositions. And this is partly because he actually had very few works published during his lifetime. He did have some keyboard works and some chamber pieces published during his lifetime, but the majority of his music was not published until after he died, and really not until 1800 or so. So about 50 years after he died was when performers started seeing Bach's music on the market. And then in the year 1829, composer Felix Mendelssohn put on a concert of Bach's St. Matthew Passion. This really kicked off what is known as the Bach Revival. Composers and performers studied Bach's works in depth. So between Bach's two wives, Maria Barbara and Anna Magdalena, he had 20 children. Unfortunately, less than half of them survived to adulthood, but some of his sons went on to be really famous musicians in their lifetime. So let's talk about them a little bit. The first of Bach's musician sons was Wilhelm Friedmann, and he was an acknowledged genius during his life. He was known for his incredible talent as a composer and as an organist and as an improviser. And then we have Carl Philipp Emanuel Bach, and he's probably the most well-known out of Bach's children. His music helped transition from the Baroque to the classical era. He wrote in a style called sensitive style. Here's the German name for it. This style of composing intended really to express the true and the natural feelings of the composer and of the performer. So we have lots of very sudden mood changes, just very emotional music. Instead of all the elaborate counterpoint and things like that, it's pretty simple as far as melody and accompaniment is concerned. And actually, sensitive style and CPE Bach's music was kind of a prelude to the Romantic era, which is the one that happened after the classical era. CPE Bach was very highly respected as a composer by classical era composers like Beethoven and Haydn. And then we have Johann Christoph Friedrich Bach. It's kind of a mouthful. He was a very accomplished musician and composer, but unfortunately most of his music was lost during World War II. And then finally we have Johann Christian Bach. He was known as the London Bach because unlike his siblings who stayed in Germany, Johann Christian went to London and he worked out of London for most of his life. Now Johann Christian didn't really write in the sensitive style of music, but rather what was known as the galant style or stile galant. And this is very uplifting, simple music as a reaction against Baroque complexity in all of its lines and its counterpoint. A simple melody, a singable melody, and everything was balanced and even and just easy to listen to and easy to play. Johann Christian really helped usher in the classical era music. And Johann Christian's music actually very greatly inspired young Mozart. When Mozart was 8 years old, he was touring London because he was a child prodigy, and he met Johann Christian and they became friends, and his music was an inspiration. Thanks to the Bach family, Johann Sebastian and his sons, we have a really rich repertoire of music from Baroque to classical music. If it hadn't been for Bach and for his music, music as we know it today would probably be drastically different. Bach really helped establish our key centers in our harmonic system, and his counterpoint and his musical language really heavily influenced composers later on down the road, and his sons helped usher in a new era of music. So without Johann Sebastian Bach, music wouldn't be as we know it today. Thanks for watching this video. Hope you learned something. Drop me a comment and let me know what you'd like me to talk about in my next vlog. See you later.